This chapter began in Warsaw. The sky was as blue as one expects it to be on a summer day. The sun, warm enough to flatter the ego of an old man in a red convertible. Speaking of which, do you remember Silvana? A sculpture in motion and, like most Italian beauties, exquisitely high maintenance. Her clutch was still permanently engaged, and I still had to change gears by ear, but once in fifth, she devoured kilometres with her insatiable appetite. Russia, vast, mysterious, was waiting for us somewhere at the edge of the map. Before we knew it, we had crossed the border from Poland into Lithuania. Night fell, a bit of rain with it, and it was time to refuel, both man and machine. 4 hours and 300 kilometers later, we found ourselves entering Latvia. Time to refuel again, though not too much this time. Just enough to arrive in Russia, where, as any motorist knows, gas costs a third of what it does in Italy. By now, the blue sky and warm sun of the morning were a distant memory. With 50 kilometers to the Russian border, we did the prudent thing. Took a break so we can attack bureaucracy in the morning with new forces. I found a hotel near Rezekne and slept, or rather collapsed. It was 4 a.m., and after 12 hours of driving, any roof and bed feel like Versailles. The next morning, the rain had developed character. I started in first gear, rev matched my way up to the fifth, and pointed Silvana towards destiny. Well, destiny had a mind of its own. It turned out, last night I had been a little too modest with the fuel. The benzina indicator had entered a state of existential crisis, while the navigator was promising a service area in 2.1 kilometers. Somehow we made it. We rolled into the gas station with what I suspect was less than 1 liter in the tank. The Latvian side waved us through in just 1 hour, civilized and organized. Now we have arrived at the Russian border. From here on, I don't have images. I must ask you to kindly use your imagination to envision what happened on the other side of this barrier. You need to understand that Russian military personnel do not take photo or video cameras lightly. You point an XT3 at them, and they will point an AK-103 at you. So I will tell you what happened, and you'll have to take my word for it. First of all, Russia does not rush. It lingers. 8 hours, 8 majestic, mind-altering hours of waiting. I aged. Silvana rusted. At some point, I asked an official, "What shall we do next?" He replied, without irony, "Wait, that's our specialty here." So we waited, and waited, and waited. During the 8 hours of waiting, there might have been in total 20 minutes of action. The first time, I've been invited in an office to explain the purpose of my visit to Russia. 5 minutes of polite interrogation. The second time, I've been invited in a different office to explain my whole life. 15 minutes of incoherent questioning, followed by a dry verdict. My visa was cancelled. The reason was not crystal clear, though one suspects it had something to do with my face. And I can't blame them. The truth is that I do have an aristocratic glare with villainous undertones, which of course is a good enough reason to revoke someone's visa. On the other hand, they did find my face compelling enough to take a photograph of it in front of a height chart, probably as a souvenir for their archive. Another plausible reason for my visa being revoked is that Russian authorities suspected I was a spy. And frankly, who could blame them? If one wanted to slip unnoticed across a highly monitored international border, the obvious choice would be to do so in a red 1968 Alfa Romeo Spider, a car so ubiquitous, so utterly forgettable, that border guards barely glance at the dozens of them crossing daily. Add to that the genius camouflage of a failed clutch master cylinder, forcing the driver to either push the car or launch in first gear, and you have all the ingredients of a flawless intelligence operation. And that was it. A shrug and a U-turn. With a smile, I headed back towards Poland, cold, tired, still clutchless, and now officially an international persona non grata. It was already 6 p.m. when I left the border. Night fell quickly, and to complete the ambience, rain started again. And then, as if fate hadn't had enough fun at my expense, Silvana had the pleasure of meeting closely a deer. You know that funny traffic collision report diagram that shows up on social media every now and then? This is the guy. That's what we saw. A flash of fur, a heavy thud, Silvana's front bonnet crumpled like a forgotten love letter. The deer survived. It limped off into the forest, presumably to reflect upon the dangers of jaywalking. As for Silvana, she's Italian. She's dramatic. Look at her face now. And so we didn't make it to Russia. Not yet. We're back with a story and a bruised bonnet. If this journey has taught us anything, it's this. Never trust clear skies. Always carry extra brake fluid. And when life hits you with rain, bureaucracy, and the occasional deer, keep driving, even if it's in second gear. After all, life is motion, and every great adventure needs a plot twist.